I'm gonna share with you a way to build a great corporate culture in 6 steps I've learned from an article in the Harvard Business Review. So let's go. Number 1, build your culture based on real-world dilemmas. Many companies have made the mistake on focusing on abstract absolute positives when defining their desired culture. Take integrity. Leaders want their employees to behave with it, to be actually honest. But I've never seen an organization that says, we are corrupt. I mean organizations that do legal stuff. If you describe your culture in positive terms, it makes a statement, but it's unlikely to affect day-to-day decisions and behaviors. The trick to making a desired culture to alive is to debate and articulate it using dilemmas. If you identify and state the dilemmas your employees face, your desired culture will take the root and influence their behaviors. Imagine you manage a small team of 8 marketing specialists and the team works great together. Your boss is talking about changing the company structure in 4 months. This would affect your department a lot. People have to move to new teams and some might have to go to another location. What would you do? Would you tell your team about it or not? Well, that depends on how you want your culture to be. What do you want your managers to do? If you want stability, tell your managers. In this company, we keep employees focused on work. We have a lot to do. Everyone should focus on their task. If you want a transparent company, tell your employees. Our leaders share information. We tell what we know, even if it costs us. Number 2, move your company from abstraction to action. If you're building a culture from scratch, consider using dilemmas from the beginning. If you already have a stated culture, test the principles with dilemmas to see if they're useful in real situations. For example, Pixar value regularly shared unfinished work. It's easy to imagine a scenario employees would face. Imagine you are a film cartoonist in the storm of creation. Some of what you've done is good, but not all of it is fleshed out. Should you keep working until you reach perfection before you share? You have 2 options. Option 1, yes, don't waste others' time and show flaws when you haven't completed what you want to do yourself. Option 2, no. You need feedback early and consider multiple perspectives to avoid going down a path you might later find out wasn't the best. Pixar's stated value resolves this dilemma. Share your work now. Or take Johnson & Johnson's credo for another example. First, we believe our first responsibility is to the patients, doctors and nurses, to mothers and fathers, and all others who use our products and services. Then, we are responsible for our employees who work with us through the world. Then, we are responsible for the communities in which we live and work, and to the world community as well. And at the end, our final responsibility is to our stockholders. So whenever there is a decision to be made, Johnson & Johnson's put the need of the patients before the needs of the employees, communities and stockholders. This credo turned an abstract statement into practical resolution for real-life dilemmas. Number 3, paint your culture in full color. Once you have identified your value and tested them with dilemmas, describe your desired culture using images to make it stick. Colorful images stick in our memories more than words. Consider Amazon's 2-pizza rule, which states that teams should not be made up of more people than 2 pizzas can feed. Or Airbnb's elephant, dead fish and vomit rule is even more colorful. It says that leaders should transparently address the things everyone is aware of, but no one dares mention the unpleasant events that started to stink and the fostering feelings people need to go out of the system. I mean, Amazon could have said, we value small teams, or Airbnb could have said, we practice transparency. Another way to make your organizational culture stand out is to think in new ways. Be provocative. Employees will remember. Netflix culture is described in memorable statements like, don't please your boss, do what's right for the company. I mean, Netflix could have just said, do what's right for the business. but no one would have paid attention. The "don't seek to please your boss" makes employees think about the company's needs first. Number 4, hire the right people and they will build the right culture. If you don't have the right data, the results will be poor no matter how good the programming is. This also applies to your workers. But bad hires aren't trash. But if you hire people whose personality don't align with your culture, no matter what else you get right, you are unlikely to get the desired behavior. To define company culture, first decide who to hire. Next, decide who to fire. In an ideal world, your perfect candidates will be perfect employees. Reality is more complicated. Some hires will be great, and some will be bad. How to handle these situations is as important as how to hire. Number 5, make sure your culture drives strategy. Is it to cut costs, simplify the business, or grow through mergers? Then use problems to show employees how to make decisions that they will move to business forward. If you want to move from an old way of doing things to a new way, you need to create problems for managers. They need to be able to change directions quickly, to get rid of old processes and take risks to try new things. HubSpot is a marketing software company. The culture is defined in a brief as follows. We adapt, we learn, we keep learning. It then shows how this would work in practice. Number 6, don't be a purist. Sometimes your organizational culture should not and cannot be followed. When you debate your culture, also identify situations in which your stated value do not apply. For example, transparency is important for your company. Yet you just fired a CEO and feel that the circumstances should keep private because it turns out he is an alcoholic and his addiction has hurting the company. You seek to be transparent, but feeling it would be unfair for the COO to share this information. Transparency has come to attention with individual privacy, and privacy has won, at least for me. Would you agree? Let me know it in the comments. Your culture should guide decisions, but don't let it limit your thinking. Think about it when your culture wouldn't apply when you're identifying decision-making dilemmas. Make those limits clear. For the alcoholic ex-COO, you could tell your staff Otto's privacy is more important than transparency. That's it. And if you want to learn more about how to make your employees stop leaving you, click the video right here.